All right, we should be streaming. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Where is that inside and up from the ES chart? I'll take a look here in a minute, Nick. Good morning, Nick. Good morning, everybody. It looks like we're having a slow start again. It's one of those days probably where a lot of traders are waking up. They're looking for a follow through. And once again, we're met with a little bit of red in the market. Not a big deal. I still think that there's a little bit of hope. So I'm saying there is a chance coming into turnaround Tuesday. We'll talk about that here just in a few minutes. But I hope you guys are all doing well. I know that it's a bit volatile, but it's also not very reliable, is it? In the fact that if you're a bull and you're looking for follow through, like I said many times, it's like 1 to 2 days if you even get that. Sometimes it's only a few hours. And if you are looking to go short in this market, you should be looking to go short at the cloud, okay, the EMA cloud, or at a trendy edge, or at a level. Remember, try to execute at levels. Try not to execute based on speculation. If you are going to trade on speculation, it doesn't mean that it won't work. It just means that maybe you should have some different rules for trading on speculation, meaning, maybe your allocation's a little bit smaller. That way, if you're wrong, you're not going to beat yourself up, you're not going to be upset, and you expected it from the get go. All right. So, ES futures, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. Do not look away. Don't act like just because you don't trade futures, this cannot help you. The ES futures chart is the blueprint for the SPY and the SPX. The only difference here, understand what the ES is. Every time I take a futures contract in this, you are leveraging 500 shares of SPY. Okay, depending on what platform you're using, if you think about it, if I were to go out into the market and buy 500 shares at SPY, that'd be pretty expensive, right? Instead, depending on the broker you go with, it's a lot cheaper to leverage those 500 shares. Okay, so that's basically what I'm doing here. That's why every tick is $12.50, right? Plus or minus, depending if you're on the right side. Now, what does that mean when you're trading SPY? For every 10 points or so, you're looking at about $1 in the SPY. So, for example, this is a hypothetical. If I went long at the support down here, say I don't even look at the SPY, okay? This is the blueprint that I gave my team here this morning. Say we go long into the support, and now we've pushed up from the support level, and you can see right down here this green level, 39.14. Okay, and current price is at 39.30. That's basically about 15 points or $1.50 to the upside in the SPY. All right, pretty easy math. This is the blueprint. Let's talk about it really quick. Last night I sent this out to my team. There's 3 arrows here. We went over this a little bit pre-market yesterday, and I want you to notice that the cloud is very powerful. Every time price pushes up into the cloud, we look for it to be resistance. We are in a down market per se, a down trending market. Okay, and we're looking for this higher time frame demand zone, which the Trendy Edges has picked up around 3782. That doesn't mean that we can't play the bounce, okay, and that's what we've been doing for the last couple days. Notice, okay, that we never touched it. We don't have to touch it, but if we stay underneath this cloud, you can expect an H formation, and most likely we'll come back here and test this. Now, these 3 arrows, what I wanted to say here is that in this market, the time spent over the 4H cloud gets shorter and shorter. What I mean by that is if you come in here and you measure, you could see that the move out, it was explosive when it first happened, and it gets shorter, and it gets shorter. Okay, notice that. Yes, we're creating lower highs, but we're also having an exhausted move over that 4H cloud. Okay. All right. So we wake up this morning. We are underneath the cloud once again on the 4H. That's not how we ended the day. We actually looked pretty good. We had a little hammer and then we gapped down. Now, maybe I'm wrong here, but those out in the market will say, hey, Snap's earnings, their guidance really led the entire market to gap down. Now, in my opinion, everything moves on demand and supply. And also, you have to think about catalyst. So if Jerome is on the mic today, Mr. Powell, okay, price has pushed up into resistance levels and now is pulling back into notice, into support levels as Jerome is going to get on the mic. That's the idea. And you always got to be aware of this. Okay, so as we're moving into a catalyst, if we move into a resistance level on your chart or on my chart, then we look for a price to move back into demand before somebody speaks, before FOMC minutes, before any kind of decision in the market, earnings as well. And it's the reverse. If price pulls back into a catalyst, check to see if it's coming into demand or support, and that typically will give us a run up into that catalyst. Example, today we are opening up into support, and you could see a small little run up into Jerome's time on the mic. Okay, now where and what do we want to pay attention to as far as levels are concerned this morning? This is very important. I'm going to go ahead and go over that really quick. Every morning I do a quick update. There's no sense of me like giving you hindsight. I want to give you raw numbers. Okay, those numbers, those levels, those are very important. Listen up. Price came into 0.382 or this trendy edge here. Okay, this is the future edge. And we found buyers this morning. That does not surprise me. Let me go ahead and show you what I mean by using Fibonacci. Okay, so this move here, if we go from the rally itself and we come up into the pivot high, doesn't have to be exact, but notice we came into the 0.382, we did not close under that, and we started to bid. That is a bullish sign for this move. Okay, even if we're under the cloud, this is a bullish sign. So let's keep those levels there. Understand that I don't have the magnet on, so I may be off just a couple points, but I'm going to go ahead and give you some levels. All right. This is the support line on my chart. If price holds this into Jerome's mic time, I believe we can continue up. If price breaks down under, look for the gap fill at the 39.02 level. Other targets below are 38.95 by 38.75. The 4-hour is currently on an inside and up. Currently on an inside and up. Okay? So this is a good sign for the bulls. Now on the bearish side, you're just pushing right up into resistance, folks. Okay? Pushing right up into resistance. All right. But you can see there could be a little bit of support here. I wouldn't say this is the prettiest inverted head and shoulders, but you could look at it like its support, is rounding out in here. We found a level down here, and we're finding a little bit of support there. And we could see a push back up to the gap fill here. To the upside, the gap fill is around 39.70. All right. And to the downside, this gap fill is around 39.02. And we didn't quite make it there. Some people use wicks. I only use the body, so price needs to come back into the body to fill that gap. Okay. The bigger picture on the blueprint is that we're looking for price to move into this red box where we have a very nice sell zone right in this area between 40.63 and 40.97. Tomorrow we will have some econ data come out, so please be aware of that. Matter of fact, I think if we open this and go to Market Watch right here, going into Wednesday. And by the way, guys, we have a holiday weekend coming up, so please jot that down. Next Monday we'll be off. I hope you guys have plans. Okay, so just please keep that in mind. Write that down right now so you don't forget. All right, so Wednesday, you can see we have FOMC minutes. FOMC minutes tomorrow, and this is going to be Eastern time on this chart. Today, Tuesday, you can see S&P Global US, S&P Global US Services PMI, and new home sales. But we also have Jerome on the mic. If somebody could check on the time, we can go ahead and post that here in the room. I'd really appreciate it. Okay. 2 p.m. Eastern is Jerome. Is that dip and rip? Is that for Jerome on the mic today? Okay, cool. So that's 1 o'clock here, which is, 2 hours before the close. All right. No Jerome today? Oh, he's just tomorrow. Okay, so we're just coming into a little bit of support into that data and Jerome. Got it. Thank you. All right, so let's move on from the ES futures and look at a couple charts here. So maybe you're not into futures, and even when I'm talking about the futures, although I'm trying to explain it the best I can, you're still like hung up on the fact that it's futures. So let's talk where most people are at. Let's look at the SPY. All right, so this is the SPY. You can see that we came into a smaller demand level. Okay, notice that we came very close to the edge. This is demand. We were looking for buyers to come in here. We didn't quite touch it, just like on the ES futures. We continue to move up. I love the divergence here on the weekly. And all I'm saying is that current price, which is down here at this orange dotted line, um, and the cloud itself, there's a big area for us to move into. Okay, so from a swing perspective, if the low holds, we could see all the way up here towards my resistance in this cloud. In this market, it's very difficult to hold because you wake up on days like this and you're like, it's just not working. Now, one approach that I have been looking at here at Trendy Trading is that intraday until proven otherwise. What does that mean? Most of my calls to the upside, I'm not trading penny increment options guide, meaning I'm not paying 10 cents for an option and then getting out at 15 cents in most cases. My concentration is a little bit higher on the delta side. So I'm not going to be getting those big returns percentage wise that most people might be looking for. So if you're coming to Trendy Trading and you're looking for 200% gainers, and that's a 5 cent option, to 15 cents, most of the time you're not going to be seeing that. We're going a little bit higher on the delta side. So during these moves up, I'm getting at a max. I think we hit like 80%, 70% last week. Yesterday we hit 240% wins, but that's good enough for me. If you're going to give me 40% of my money on two of my trades, I'm going to be very happy. All right, this isn't several months ago where you could pull to 500, 600% in most cases. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So again, looking for resistance. This is support, and I'm saying there still is a chance. The whole idea going into this week was my thought process was that we close inside on the week. Here at Trendy Trading, that means we need to close in the body of the previous candle. Notice that the current candle is inside the body. And again, that would be right here. So what I'm saying is no matter which way we move, by Friday, I'd like to see a close within this body. Can we trade if for some reason we move over that body? Of course we can, but stops would be just right at the top of that body and we would continue that move to the upside. Then I could go back and say, hey, I was wrong, but we still were able to capitalize on that move. All right, but this is what I'm looking for, and so far, everything's right where it needs to be. It is only Tuesday, though. Okay? Let's go into the daily so we can understand what's happening. The daily pushed into the cloud yesterday. Okay? This right here is resistance until proven otherwise. Notice every time we come up into the cloud, this is the better place to buy puts. I didn't trade SPY on the close yesterday. I'm kind of looking back and thinking, man, that would have been nice to wake up this morning and capitalize off of this move. I hope that some of you guys took advantage of it, but we did push into resistance on the close. So buying puts on the close was the better and higher probability trade on the SPY. Okay. Let's go ahead and go into the 4H. Again, this is what we're looking at. We went over this on the ES futures. We're just underneath resistance. We're trying here, okay? But we still have, it looks like we might have filled the gap. We might have missed it by just a couple pennies. So on the SPY, again, if we can't get over, I would say the 39.5 level, look for price to come back down into that 390 level. Okay, so 395 or 390. We're kind of stuck in that range. Now here at Trendy Trading, we also do the neutral strategy. I try to make this as simple as I can. And if we pull this open, let's go ahead and take a look at it. This, my friends, is really at the end of the day as easy as I can make it. And although the chart looks simple, that was the idea. But the thoughts behind it are Fibonacci, supply and demand, Fibonacci extensions, the cloud, all of that I kind of pulled together to come up with these levels. And basically what you're looking for is you go long over 392.15, and then you're looking to move into each target. Notice we hit the 395.88. Once we reach above here, what was resistance becomes support, or it doesn't. One of the two, right? So you're trimming and trailing after 395.88. Okay, notice that all we did this morning was pull right back down into the neutral zone. Okay, and we're still bidding above the 392.15. Okay, over here on the Qs, notice here we took the trade as well. I made 40 something percent on this. It pushed up into T1. I went ahead and put my stops in. I made my money, and price came right back down. And here we are in the neutral. Not a big fan of the Qs this morning, unless we could start to break over $290.43. And saying that, I would rather just see it kind of mess around in here. Okay. So let's talk about resistance and support really quick. Over here on the SPY, your resistance today, 395.88. Far as support is concerned, 388.79. QQQ, resistance 290.43. Your support is going to be 287. Those are the levels that we have for the Qs and the SPYs. Let's go ahead and minimize that and move on. Yesterday, I did a live trade with everybody, even on YouTube, out there on Twitter, on Disney. Let's talk about it really quick. I think it's important. This was a really fun trade. We used what's called the pre-market zone. It worked very well. We hit all our targets. We brought up our stops. And guess what? We were stopped out for profits. And then after Snap reported their earnings, the market decided to find an excuse to pull back in what we call a downtrending market. Any sort of news or catalyst is going to weigh heavily on these stocks. So I started noticing right after the market, even the things that were strong ended up pulling back on that news. So this is the trade that we took yesterday. We took it over the pre-market zone. It was perfect. We got a great entry. We took off from there, and you can see the rest was history. You bring those stops up. And today you don't need to worry about it. You should have been bringing those stops up. You get stopped out before the close. You collect those profits. It's intraday until proven otherwise. The only way that I'm not going to get out of my positions, these are my rules for me, is if my trade is not gone over 30% down. Okay. Anything that I hold overnight, though, I cannot control, folks. Okay, it's an option. What you pay for the option is your risk. In my opinion, that's what really turned me on to options back in the day, is that I really like that concept. If I pay $500 for something and I wake up the next day, the most I can lose is $500. Now, we're not talking about selling premium, but in the event that I buy to open, I can only lose $500. All right. Back in the old days when I first started trading, I would trade stock and I would get my butt handed to me, right? And you could wake up the next day and you could lose a lot of money depending on how you traded that. So I really like the idea of knowing what my risk is. So sometimes what you'll hear is what I pay is my risk. I love that. And we talk about that. We have videos for that. We teach how you can really go into a trade understanding how much you can lose before you take the trade, and that really gives you a lot of confidence to go ahead and execute that trade, especially when you're using really good levels. Okay? All right, so Disney was great. Far as watches go today, I don't have a lot to look at except for the SPYs and the Qs. Everything else is I'm using my scanners. So Disney was on my scanner yesterday. I pulled it up really fast. A couple trades that we are in, I'll go over that really quick. So this NFE, I believe is what it is. Let's go ahead and just make sure. Yeah, NFE. And I went over what I'm looking for. It's getting a little tight. You can see it came right into the edge, and this is resistance until proven otherwise. We need to see bids above probably 44.5, 44 to get me a little bit more excited. The targets to the upside are 45, 45.90, and 47.55. Those are going to be my targets. As far as my stop, you can see it here on the screen. I'd like to see price stay above this level. So again, you can see that level right here. See, red. A lot of people get confused. Just look at the colors and look to the bubbles on the right hand side. This is 42.74 is the stop. Okay. On options, what does that mean for me? If we're just kind of flirting with this area, I'm not going to get stopped out immediately if it touches that. What I like to do is put my stops in areas just right under areas of support. And if the price is coming down into that area of support, I expect it to bounce. You don't want to put your stops in the middle of demand or support. Okay, that's like the silliest thing to do, but I'll tell you that most traders actually do that. All right, and they watch themselves get stopped out, and then they watch price move up. That can be super frustrating. All right. All right, now far as shorts go, maybe RBLX. So I also have Baba guys, and that is down at the moment. Matter of fact, let's go that before we go into RBLX. Okay, Baba. This the idea here was to take a trade that runs up into earnings, not down. But so far, you can see it's very sideways. As far as the 4 hour is concerned, this is what it looks like. And I gave you guys a nice little support level here this morning. And basically, it's like a trend line. If you just kind of go down and to the left, you could see this area is an area of support. But if it breaks down, you could see a move further down into this body, which is over here. It looks like a gap. Of around 81, 88, or $82. Okay, so this area for us is really important today at around 84 and a half. The first 30 minutes to an hour, I try not to do anything with swings, even if it hits my levels, because a lot of algos are driven within that first 30 minutes to an hour, and so I just want to see what comes out of that. If buyers step in and then we start creating bids above my support level. Okay, so this is Baba. This is what I'm looking at today for that blueprint. All right. As far as shorts go, could there be a short in the room today? Perhaps. All right. So some names weaker again on that SNAP earnings, but it's hard here. All right. And the reason why I say this because a lot of things have been really beaten up, and these lows came into some support. And to be honest with you, as long as price is holding higher lows from here, it's kind of hard for me to short. It really is. All right. Um, and what I mean by higher lows, this would be your pivot low. Let's say we come in to about right here, and then we start to go bid. A lot of people will get trapped, and then we move up and they start looking and they're like, oh, yeah, we're just making higher lows here. Right? So it's very difficult for me to execute a short when we're already down. The best place that you want to be looking for a short is when we push back up into the cloud as the same thing that I was showing you, or into an edge. What do you mean by that, John? The trendy edges, again, when you're underneath price and you're moving up to an edge. See right here, this is an edge. See right here, this is a cloud. Notice that price moves up. It pushes into a trendy edge. This is where you want to be looking to go short. You don't want to be looking to go short when we're gapping down in most cases. The only time this has really worked for me is when there's a lot of fear under that name, or there's a capitulation event like we had in 2020. But in most cases, it's like the worst idea to try to go short when things have already gapped down. All right, because you're paying up for premium. People know that there's fear, so the guys that are selling to you, they know there's fear, so they attach a premium. It's like, let me give you a quick example. It's like living here in Florida. I live on the water, right? So if the storm is coming, if the hurricane is coming, and I decide to buy insurance the day that the storm is over my house, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to increase those premiums, right? You're going to pay an arm and a leg for that insurance. What you want to do is get your insurance when it's nice and sunny out, it's not hurricane season, and guess what? It's a good time to buy, right? In that case. So don't, buy puts when people are fearful, okay? Just not a good idea in my opinion. Which leads me to probably the most important things out here as well. Let's look at the dollar. All right, we wanted to see the dollar continue to fall, and so far that has happened, folks. Matter of fact, you could see here, we went over this. I said be cautious as long as we're bidding above this level. This is an inside and down or supply level that I gave you way back in the day. Notice how we hit that to the tick. Yeah, sure, we went over it a little bit, and we knew to be cautious because of these words here. Bids above here, stay cautious. But as soon as we started breaking down again, notice how the market started to push up. So there is a, if you're not using the dollar, it's DXY. I think on Thinkorswim, it's actually the $ DXY. Just watch this, okay? Use this blueprint to kind of help you gauge where the market is. The next thing that we want to look at is the skew. These are your hedge funds, and basically this gives you an idea of where their sentiment is and how they're um, getting or positioned. And in many cases, if you were to put a SPY chart behind this skew chart, it's going to tell you um, that when the skew is dropping into risk on, the market is pulling back pretty hard. It's kind of one of those buy fear, sell greed. Okay, but you have to marry all this up. Okay, and that's why we do our broad market analysis here. Skew, the dollar, TNX, the Treasury, ES, SPY, Qs. I put all that together and come up with a really good plan and know what to expect coming into the week. Notice here on the skew, we've come into the risk on area. Now, I want to be really careful. I want to tell you something that's really important. This, for many, many years, worked very, very well. Last year, my biggest complaint was that we were in the risk off area for a very long time, and this kind of threw me off and a lot of traders as they expected a pullback for quite some time. There were professional traders out there who were calling for a pullback almost every single month because of a lot of factors. And so they kept it in here and they kind of kept you from putting too much money into trades. Now, here we are in 2022, and notice that we're coming into risk on, okay? But notice that we also gapped down pretty big today. So this is not something you just immediately do, all right? You don't, just because the skew drops down into the 120 areas or lower, you don't necessarily buy right away for a quick result. What you do is you start to scale in, you start to look at all the different charts I'm looking at and start to put the puzzle pieces together and say, hey, I think that if I buy some time here, maybe go a little bit further out of the money, maybe buy some call debit spreads, I think this could pay off for me in the next, say, 45, 60, 90 days. This is a longer term approach, and sometimes you'll get that move immediately, and that really helps you out, right? And then you go back and you'll go, man, I bought way too much time, but it is what it is, all right? That is the skew. Let's look at the TNX really quick. We have about 2.5 minutes. And then for the day, what we're going to do is we're going to start out by watching the SPY on a 5-minute, and we'll talk about the pre-market zone and how I approach that. This is the inside and down on the TNX. Okay, this is your Treasury, and everything that we talked about is happening. Price pushed up into the supply area. TNX is dropping. All we really want to see here is that it kind of pulls and just kind of mellows out. We need it to mellow out. Okay. All right, here's the VIX. All right, so this is my blueprint I put together a long time ago, and I really mean this. If we ever push over this 41.56 level, we're screwed, meaning that we are going to see some real capitulation. Something crazy is going to happen. But notice how the edges work, and my resistance line has worked. I've had this chart out for over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see here about just over a month. It's worked very well. Every time the VIX pushes up into the trendy edge, that blue line and this resistance line, it's a good idea to buy puts in the VIX, and you can expect the market to kind of settle down. Currently, we're at a 29.19. It's still very high. We're just in a whole different market. All I want to tell you guys is I'm going to heat my coffee up. I'm going to grab some, and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put the SPY on the 5-minute chart. Okay, and it might sound like a small time frame, but we want to be on the right side very quickly, and we have the tools to do that. We also have auto signals that come through Trendy, so everything's linked up to my scripts and lets me know what side of the trade I want to be on. The first thing I'm going to tell you right now is that we are underneath the cloud. And let's go here. All right, and just like that, here's your line in the sand at 397.02. This is the pre-market zone, this red box here. This is what we call a negative positive. All right, and you can learn more about that here at Trendy Trading. Members, you guys know what that is. Let's see if our bids can stay above the pre-market zone on the open. And again, we have 25 seconds. Good luck to everybody. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great day. And I know we will, regardless if you win or lose. Please, please be smart with your allocation and accept your loss before you take that trade. And if you have time, listen to Mark Douglas in your sleep, mowing the grass. I mean, whatever you can do, find some time to listen to that guy. He knows what he's talking about. Good luck, guys. All right, folks. A lot of talking, right? I'm talking it up. I hope talking fast. Hopefully not too fast for you. All right, look at that bid right out of the pre-market zone on open. That's what we're looking for. Now, the biggest step here is whether or not we can bid over the cloud on the 5-minute. Okay? Look at that zone. Gets bought up immediately. I love that. But the cloud is just too much, right? Is that what's going on there? Hey, I noticed that my SPX, maybe you guys can answer me because I don't even know. I haven't been paying attention to it, but I bought some butterflies. If anyone followed me on those butterflies, did your percentage kind of move all day and night? Mine did. Is that like a new thing? I don't know why my chat's disconnecting over here. Let me see something, guys. I'll be right back. Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? Let's see. Let's see if I can pull up my chat again. All right, guys, what's going on over here is at the PMZ, the pre-market zone. This is one of my scripts. This is kind of what we expect buyers to kind of come in here if we're above it. It's like any level on my chart. If we're above that level and price comes down into it, we're looking for bids, like this yellow level. All right. If price pushes up into a level, we're looking for it to reject. These are resistance levels, every single one of these. They could be considered targets if you're long, and these could be considered targets if you're short. And notice that we're bidding out of the zone, pre-market zone. And give me 1 second. I'm trying to see if I could turn on my chat. Let's see if this pops up. There we go. Look at that zone work, guys. Doesn't get any better than that. So if you're a scalper here at Trendy Trading, then you're looking at the pre-market zone. One thing that I forgot to mention is it's really cool because even if you don't have this level, my traders here can look right here. It tells you immediately what your risk is. So if you set up your bracket trades, then your entries here, your stop, okay, is this risk. So like this underneath, all right, and then it gives you the levels where you know to go long or short or whatever. So that's what's going on there. Pretty neat. They're just quick trades though. Now this can lead into something. What I'm doing is being more patient. What I'd like to see is, we kind of do this, and then maybe I start to get signals pop up. All right, and that starts to make me feel better, and then we're looking for these moves up here. Okay. Or the opposite. We break down and start to get signals to the downside. Let me do something really quick, guys. I'm going to come over here. I need to look at BAC. Okay, so it looks like it's breaking down to the downside there. A nice little top and wick. So we have a video on this as well. Please watch it. Top and wicks are very important, especially when they've already closed. They give you an idea where your resistance is going to be for the day. So keep that in mind. And this is our low, okay, from last night. And you always want to please get enough candles in your screen to kind of understand where you might see buyers step in. So let me go ahead and draw this zone for you. We're just going to use an inside and up formation on a smaller time frame. Okay. And let me go ahead and make this green for you so you can kind of understand. And I'm going to bring this target down here as well. Right there. Right now we're just kind of, this has been the norm. Like open up and get super choppy, wash a lot of people out. Yeah. And instead of me like sitting here and watching every little tick, give me just a moment. I'm going to come over here and get a little bit more coffee and I'll be right back. But watch for this green box here to potentially have buyers in it. So take note that we actually have closes underneath the PMZ. Okay, closes underneath the PMZ. No signals yet, at least on the 5 minute. Let's see if we got any auto signals this morning. The only auto signals that we have coming in at the moment, give me 1 second. I'm going to actually pull this down just so you guys can see what the room looks like. Okay, just for a minute. And you can see here that we have auto signals with the futures. So if you're a normal, you know, day-to-day trader, but you're only trading equity and so forth, that's okay. But for our future traders, I created signals here that give entries and stop ideas around signals, which is pretty cool. So this had you, you know, you see there's stops and entries here. And basically for me, I have a disclaimer in the room that I don't necessarily trade every single one of these. But if I do, I have to make sure that um, the risk tolerance is within, you know, my risk. So it has to make sense for me to take the trade. And then we have SPX signals. We had these yesterday. These are looking pretty good towards the end of the day. You can see that. And then I have my positions, which is really cool. So this is updated every hour, and it lets traders know exactly what I'm in. So for example, the only positions that I had here in my margin account are BABA long term, and then a butterfly call spread for SPX, which is really neat. And I love this feature. I know that when I was trying out several different rooms, first of all, we're the only room that we're aware of that actually has their API connected to their room, which makes me really happy. So we try to lead by example with being transparent. And then we have our auto signals, depending on what I want to monitor during the day. These are all going to let me know. And you can see here, these were telling you to be short on the cues this morning. And then these are my small account. These are my actual trades from my brokerage. The small account is just a cash account. Swing account is a margin account. And this gives my overall gain or loss. So I love that. Again, transparency, 20%, stuff like that. 60% loss, 34% loss, 32% win. And so it's pretty neat. I like it. It's immediate. Lets traders know how things are going for me. All right, guys. So we came right down into that little level. Notice how we're bouncing. And again, this is most likely going to fall within, that 30-minute range, 30 minutes to an hour. We got to kind of fill it out, see if these levels are going to hold or not. And notice that was basically to the tick there. And these are all like tradable. I just don't feel like scalping right now. Some days I'm in the mood to scalp, some days I'm not. But I will say this. Scalps can turn into big trades, right? You think it's going to be a scalp, and then this green box could be the buy of the day. So what you're also going to notice, if like the ES or the SPY is bidding at one of my levels, you're going to see the rest of the market kind of bid up, right? In most cases. So you wouldn't want to, say you're about to go short, okay? Say you're in here at Trendy Trading. You're about to go short, you think something's a short, but you look over and I'm talking about the SPY going bid here. This probably wouldn't be the best place to get short. The best place again would be up towards the cloud. Remember, I was talking to you about that this morning. You want to be looking at puts on the way up, calls on the way down. JPM highs. Let's take a look there. Wow, okay. Is everybody else? Yep, BAC. Very cool. This was our trigger long this morning. I was looking for this channel right here to bid. This is also on watch here. We'll see how it reacts around this area. Now I could set this up to where I don't even need to be in front of the screen for it to execute. But we'll just wait. Now there should be resistance. Okay, so I'd like for it to come in here, pull back, flag a little bit, and then look for the break. When is the split, T79? When is the split on Amazon? Do you know the actual day? I like that idea. It's going to be pretty cheap, isn't it? Early next month. Got it. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty inexpensive. Seems like it, anyways. Like 2,000, right? Inside and up on BAC. Apple falling fast. Let's see. Down 250. Yeah, and banks are ripping. 2300 by 2400, 617. Oh, you mean like a call spread? Call debit spread. Got it. All right, still zone's working still. LLY still looking pretty strong. Again, BAC came right off the 23.6. MU, just kind of watching that. Let's go here to RBLX. Nice little dump. Is it really? Man. Hmm. Hmm. Weekly still in the body. I'm gonna be watching this pretty close. So let's go to a little bit higher time frame. So I'm gonna put an alert here. Actually, I don't need to watch it. I'm gonna put an alert here. And you guys will know if this happens. Below previous body. Okay. And right back down to the support level. and BAC backed off just a little bit. DE on watch, double inside on daily. Nice flag on the 4 hour. Let's see if this we'll see if this support's gonna hold up here. Maybe, maybe not. BBY, Best Buy, pretty strong this morning. Up 100, down 100. Is that how this works nowadays? In a week, look back, nothing's happening. It's kind of how it feels. Yeah, let's go back to that SPY, see what's going on. Get over to the 5 minute. For what? Opening verticals? You looking at downside or upside, Mike? Gotcha. Yeah, the patience of a rock star. My wife handed me a broom and said, "Sweep." She knows what's best. So I mean, these pushes, they can be pretty violent, right? Just depending. But you can see support, resistance. It's just back and forth, back and forth. So I'm not very interested yet. So right here. New dark pool level on SPY 396.87. That's pretty far away. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, basically the line in the sand, man. Like a close. Closed at the close or something. Yeah. So, Mike, are you bullish when it's that far away? Are you bearish? I like them when they're a little bit closer, but I mean, that's a big, like, if somebody is using that level, it's like a really big stop. It's like, all right, I want to stay short as long as we're under 396.87. Yeah, exactly. Yep, I got you. Use the PMZ. Nice hammer out of here. Let's see what they want to do. See what they want to do. Hard for me to get short here, man. At one of my support levels, but we'll see what happens. Looks like we did get a sell signal out of the PMZ. If I go short, I'm going to short some futures here. Look at this LLY though, pushing out. I see Futu over here on the left. I wanted to give it about, an hour. It's only been 30 minutes. Still making a higher low. Nice little pullback though. Not sure why I have Micron up here. Let's go. What'd you buy on those apples, Austin? Weeklies? Further out, what? We got the 65 on ES. Curious to see what happens here. I'm going to put a stop on my future short. I don't want to see it get stopped and go right back down though. if we backtest the 65. Yeah. Yeah, LLY and a target one out of today. That's the one stock that really like pulled through, right? The entry on the short was at 39.13 on the futures. So a little late, but still up quite a bit. Um, I'm going to keep bringing my stop down. Let's look at this VIX really quick. Nice push here. VIX, we might get a push into 30.15 and then see some sort of relief bounce here. Just got stopped out of my short on the future side. I see we revisited. Looks like 65 right here. And back down. So 65 level, it's kind of funny, Austin, on the 65. Could be a stop, right? If you're looking at the net change on the ES futures. A 65 thing is working here, Austin. As soon as we bounced up to 65, I went short again. I'm just gonna be scalping though. It's pretty cool. So hey, so you said yes tomorrow, but it's actually today, man. That Powell's speaking. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yep. Couple couple verifications here. Looks like it's at 12:20 today. Yeah, tomorrow's FOMC minutes. I wouldn't expect too much wild stuff going on. So on the SPX for tomorrow's expiration, that butterfly, I'm gonna probably I'm gonna leave them alone. They're still super expensive. I was thinking about buying the body back, but the calls are still expensive. So let's see, Futu coming into an edge. We'll see if it can bounce. Still, it's only been 38 minutes. Feels like 38 days. LLY still pushing up through target. Your trigger long was 300. You're at currently 307. Not bad. Amazon looks like double bottom here on a shorter time frame. I would be sure that it could stay under 2130 if you're still looking for further down. Bank of America came up into an edge. That's why I decided not to take it there. Let's go over there and take a look at it. BAC. Let's go to more like a 5 minute. Yeah. See right here? Came right into the edge, couldn't close over, right back down. Austin, did you know what I meant when I was talking about once it hit negative 65, go short again? Like you were saying, that back test of that number? Yeah. No, cool. Now it's down 77. Interesting. Oh my god, give me 1 second, guys. I need to turn my air conditioner down. Amazon's angry. Looking for value. Yeah. Yeah, 388, 4.5. See what we get here. All right, 384, 4.5. Stops in. Nice push so far. Bringing stops up. Let's go. Stops in the money. Come on. Okay, stopped on the long for some profits. That was really quick. I'm reluctant to keep my stops at entry just because of the way things are acting. But just took a few points there. So 3 trades so far on futures, 3 positive trades. Unfortunately, my Futu trade is down, but it's trying to push here. Again, it's not even been an hour, but it is trying to find some love down here at the trendy edge. My Baba trade down, but slowly trying to come back up and just kind of chipping away at some futures. So do what I can. And like I said, they're not like amazing or anything, but they worked. And there's 6 orders, 6 fills. So our first one was going short at 13. I covered at 7, and then the second one. Let's see. I only made looks like a point or two in that, and then the next one I made 4 points. So man, that Amazon took a dump. Jeez. I remember a long time ago we were talking about Amazon to 2000. That was a really big push down. Yikes. This is a 20 to 1 split. Wow. Pretty impressive.
You are rich.
Bitcoin only down 180 points here. What a crazy week. I need a call. Let's see. I'll wait on that. Amazon, nice little push here. Like I say, ES, that was a pretty good little entry down there. We'll see if it holds, but yeah. Did you go long futures or just a little bit of SPX? What deltas are you trading, man? Like way, way out? Huh? Delta 5. Oh, I was joking. I didn't even see that. You actually put 5. You're like, eh. Yeah, just go at the money, baby. Holy crap. That's awesome. Let that Delta 5 turn into like a Delta 80, man. I'd be so happy for you. You know, my butterfly is probably like a Delta 5, man. Yeah, it is. You know? Fuck it. Yeah, it's hard to think that Powell's going to say anything. Max Fear? Oh, for sure, Ben. For sure, man. Definitely Max Fear. Hey, John. Is it possible to follow my system without the indicators? Yeah. I mean, it's your. What I would tell you um, is there's a lot of information out there for free that I give on my YouTube channel um, that will help you pick up where we're buying and selling. But if you're talking about the system, these are going to help you extremely. I would say I think there are maybe two people in this room, maybe, maybe, maybe a tad bit more that don't have the indicators, and they've been with me for a long time. You can rent them. Everybody, everybody's renting. Homes are too expensive to buy. See if we can get a spike here. Let's see if we can get back about 3,900 here shortly. That would be a good sign. If it doesn't and Apple continues to fall, which, they're staying on inside of the week, ES futures, not back in. I'm going to put another alert here and then say back in the body. Back in the body, baby. So you're saying there's a chance. What does RTY look like? Haven't looked at it in quite some time. Looks like it once right here. Higher lows though so far. Here's the canary. Here's the canary in the coal mine here. NFE down 37% and FUTU 58% on my longs. No shame in my game, baby. No shame. No shame. If you can't control it, you can't be mad at yourself. You know? Only thing you can control in options is during the day. Know that. So that 3884 level is trying to hold in here, but let's see if we get any kind of signs that the market is wanting to kind of bottom out here. Let's look at the VIX. We'll look at also the advancers here in a second. The VIX pushed up into the inside and down. Yep, there it is again, making higher lows. This is where I like to see it start to fade, if it would. And see if we get some kind of relief bounce here. Come on. You guys got to be happy. You got to law of attraction, baby. You got to put a smile on your face. Think about good things. Just understand that the market pulling back. If you're a futures trader, try to take a little bit of advantage of it. Um, if you have long trades on, look at the time. It's only been an hour and 15 minutes. It's not the end of the world. You got a lot of time to make some decisions here. I haven't traded anything today except for futures. Is that right? Yeah, it's the only thing I've traded so far. It's just trying to. That's what I love about futures. They're a great hedge, if you can make enough money to cover your daily. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. What is going on? I mean, honestly, not too much. It's not too crazy. Not too crazy. Nice, nice. Underdog. Abundance, nice. Very good job. Yeah. So, what are we going to do? Nothing. There's nothing to do. I'm not going to do anything. Don't need to do anything at the moment. Looks like we have a spread on CRM on the 160 by 165s. Um, all right, let's see. The VIX is trying to push up over 30.8 here. Not much to do. I think we make higher lows from here, but it's a sit and wait sort of game, so no rush. Somebody asked me earlier what my total allocation is at the moment. Give me 1 second. 2.5%, roughly. Red to white to green. And I think, what's his name? Powell comes on here in about an hour or so. All right, guys. So I'm 2.5% allocated for those that have asked. Some notes that I'm seeing here is that the TNX, the Treasury, is down to sideways. The dollar is down, but fear and greed. Let's see where that is really quick. I'm sure it's very low. Basically, everything is pointing towards a possible move up, but there are a lot of stocks that people feel that are still overvalued. The sentiment is complete poop, and the extreme fear is at 8. I'm at a standstill here. I'm at I rather trade futures because there's no theta. There's no sort of premium loss here. I either get stopped out or I don't. I've taken 3 trades. They've worked out so far. Far as option trades, they're down about half on average, so I'm not going to do anything there. As I just kind of sit and wait to fill out the rest of the day. Jerome is talking a little bit later. Um, but yeah, fear and greed at 8, the P call ratio, I'm sure everybody's on the put side. And kudos to put traders if that's what they're doing every single day that they wake up. But where people are saying they're going short, for the most part, they're typically on the way down, and then they're finding some sort of support. The sideways action's not easy, even in the put side, depending on how you're trading it. If you took puts on the close yesterday, it's a bonus. That's awesome. If you're taking calls, the move up is very short-lived. Not as awesome, but a win is a win, right? I was talking yesterday about my 40% wins, and I'm like, hey, better than red, you know. So, but there's nothing. There's just not much really standing out here at all. Like, do I want to go short some of these? Not really. Not really. When they are short, they seem to be just coming back to where they were before, and so we're just kind of stuck in a range. Like, let me show you what I mean. Disney, is it lower than before? Sure, of yesterday, but it's still just in this channel. And the lower we get to the curve, the better opportunity is for a move up, in my opinion, unless these levels are taken out. And this is what I see across the board here. And that comment up there, as I said about 2008, it's likely watching a plane crash. It hurts. It's no fun. And that's from Michael Burry. It is kind of like watching a plane crash in slow motion, and the plane is heavy, right? It's kind of what it feels like for sure. But these bounces, I'm telling you, if you bought puts at the bottom, they're just killing the premium, and so it creates a lot of impatience. Um, the key is, for me, is if we get back over 3,900, we're back in the body of the previous week, and I think that's where we close this week. We close inside that body. If not, then sure, it's 8 weeks down. Let's see, Nick, are you on there right now? By chance, are you on audio? You are. Okay, cool. You could see my chart, right? Okay, cool. So right here, give me 1 second. So what I'm doing is going underneath this candle. Sorry, right here, right there. Okay, so I'm creating a box here and here. Now notice it's been tested before. See how price left here? It moved up and then boom, came right back down. So that's the thing. It has been tested. So when we come across here, notice my line is in conjunction with underneath the candle. Now the reason why I use the bottom of this candle, okay, is because there is buying pressure out of here. Buying pressure as in the candle is hollow. It's a pretty nice size candle and we get this really strong move out of it, okay? And the bottom of it, I'm just simply using underneath the structure here. So this is a zone. Now, notice this candle that came in here, this is a lot bigger picture. If we go to the monthly, I showed you guys this the other day. Now, this candle on the monthly came into this zone here, okay? And that's what's holding up, if you were, the May candle, okay? The little small box that I gave you today is just what we would call a relief rally or some kind of relief bounce. This is the bigger picture here. Okay, cool. Thank you, baby. This is the relief rally. Does that make sense to you? So smaller time frame, relief rally, bigger time frame. This is what's holding up the May candle. Okay. And let me go back over here to SPY. Let's look at the breakdown if you're using 5-minute candles today or 3-minute, it doesn't matter. But we'll go over the PMZ and just kind of show you what's happening here. So I drew you guys a little box. It worked for a few minutes. Then they broke through. And as I was saying during that discussion, that it's just, again, small relief bounces. But we did get one sell signal today. And that came in right here, the PMZ. We could not close over. It looked really good. It was fun. It was exciting. But they couldn't close over the cloud. They actually closed under the PMZ. Stops go up here. And then you look to trade down. Notice it came into the edge. It bounced. But once it broke the edge, the rest was history once again. All the way from 391 to 381. And now the question is, like, where could this go? And honestly, it could go to the lower edge, which is down here at 383.71. So maybe like a 385 put if you like that once price bounces. So far, we're creating small H formations to the downside. If 5 minutes is not your thing, or even if it is, I mean, if we start to bid above 389, 390, that's better for the bulls today. But that would be a stop for me or an entry. It depends. It'd be a stop if I was trying to go short at the bottom. If it pushes up and I'm waiting for my stop, the closer I get to 389, 390 is where I'd be thinking about a short back down to here. Okay. The problem is time. It's only 10:23, so not even 2 hours since open. And in that case, there's a lot of sideways action that could take place here. Just kind of burn people. So European close in 6 minutes. We'll kind of see what comes out of that. Meanwhile, I'll be watching the screens from right back there where my kids and my wife are making breakfast, and yeah, so I'll be monitoring from there. I don't plan to do a whole lot. I just want to kind of sit this out and kind of let things take shape, see what happens. Okay, so let's see what happens there. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm always here, and I'll be right back as soon as I can eat. So I'll be right back.